We all have one thing that we always wanted to try, but something always stops us. Fear, doubt, comfort. It's different for everyone. However, growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you take a chance and you step inside the unknown and you challenge yourself to try something new. Sometimes you may not be able to have the chance to control what you can do when you challenge yourself. Sometimes you're thrown into things. But in today's interview, we'll be diving in to what happens when you finally take that leap, when you stop overthinking and you actually start to live. How do you feel about knowing that you got to move forward with this like path slash career, and then seeing that like you got to come to this place every day, knowing that if you tell your actual beliefs, then he may not like you.
And it's not just him, because I mean, like, clearly with this situation that we were just talking about, it's most of the people there. Being in the area that we live in and where I work, like, most of the people that work at this hospital are like Christian, Southern, hold these beliefs that like we see in these rural areas. And I've grown up with it my whole life, but I've also grown up selectively picking the groups that I know will, like, accept these things, which is why I have so many friends who are also queer, and I specifically search out like those spaces. It's not my business. I can try to stick up for people, but if that's going to put me at risk, like, I'd like to keep it on the down low. There are 6 of us training right now who just graduated and got our x-ray licenses, and then now we're all learning CAT scan together. And if I hear somebody talking behind somebody's back, like one of the other people that's the new grads, and like I don't know how much they've worked with them, and they're saying like, oh, this person does this and this. I'm like, well, maybe you're not seeing what they're doing. And like, that happens all the time, where if you don't work with somebody consistently, you might not see everything, but you have to like step back and understand that you might not always be able to voice your opinions. You can still keep them, and as long as they don't bring something up, I'm not going to bring something up. Okay. And that was my experience with the program as well. Like, I knew that my professor didn't believe in evolution and all that stuff, and I just never brought it up. I just avoided it if I could.
For this interview, instead of doing it from the comfort of my own home, or perhaps in the street doing random things, I figured that I should go out into the forest and do an interview because I used to be scared to even want to hike in the first place. I grew up in a community that deemed hiking as dangerous and ultimately not worth it. I was happy to not only be able to experience my second time with a friend, but doing something again that I thought was impossible for someone like me, not because I couldn't do it, but because I was afraid to. For this part, I'm having her try something new with me, using lemonade iced tea, I guess strawberry lemonade, and then we're gonna be trying these little peaches and cream granola bars. It's only fitting, but the reason for it is we're talking about how trying new things could be scary and whether people think it's worth it to know what you're getting into while doing it, or just going in blind. And you were mentioning before that you're going to a concert.
Yeah, I'm going to go see the Rat Motel, which I know nothing about. I had no idea who ICP was, but now I do, and now I frankly love them, even though they're kind of crazy. Do you know who ICP is?
I do not, but I expect pictures or at least videos or something.
I have pictures I can show you. So ICP is Insane Clown Posse.
Okay.
Which sounds really silly. They were like a 90s band. They still do tours and stuff. Do you know what a juggalo is?
Yeah.
They're juggalos.
Okay.
So like I did some silly little like jester makeup. I did not do the full white and black juggalo makeup, but there were people that did, and that was honestly the craziest crowd I've been in. I've only been to a couple concerts.
So it was a like mosh pit kind of thing?
There were people trying to create a mosh pit on, like, we were on the side. People were moshing in the center, that's normal. That's normal. People were trying to mosh. We were like up against the wall almost. And a couple people threw some punches. and got taken out of this very small venue. Keep in mind, what I didn't know before looking things up, because I like to do a little bit of research before I go to these places to know what I'm getting into. They take these zero sugar Faygo bottles and they shake them up and they spray the whole crowd.
Oh.
And they like launch them into there. People were catching them. Like you could catch the Faygo bottle and drink the rest of it. And it was cola flavored. So I was getting it like in my eyes, in my mouth, up my nose. By the end of the concert, I looked like a wet rat. That was a good experience. Would I do it again? Probably not. Probably not, because I was wet and sticky.
Understood.
That
is the worst. I ain't gonna lie.
It wasn't super sticky, but I was definitely wet.
Unless you're talking about Tyler Creator, Sticky. That was a good song. But
that was good. Yes.
But other than that, nah, I ain't gonna lie. This here.
What is it good?
Yeah, I can buy this again. I ain't gonna lie. I can buy this again.
That's good. Oh,
In this situation, are you wanting to plan for the event, or are you just going to be spontaneous and just like, okay, we don't know what we're getting into, but I have the intention that I want to go and have fun and experience this?
Kind of both. Like, we just had the conversation. I don't know what I'm gonna wear. I like to match the theme of wherever I'm going so I don't stick out. But other than that, I might try to see what some of the songs are. That way I can like vibe. I'd like to be able to vibe, because if I don't know what I'm getting into, sometimes I don't always like new music if I've not been intentionally introduced.
Okay.
So it's kind of a different experience.
All right.
I'll plan a little bit.
All right, let's see what this is, what this is about. I'm not gonna lie, I know how I feel about this. It's not bad, but
it doesn't taste like peaches.
That's what I was hoping for.
I like Sunbelt though. They make nice like breakfast bars.
They do. I got a bunch of them at home, but I seen this one and it was like limited edition. I was like, well, it's gonna be added to the concept for today. Next year, we might be on a kayak.
Sadly, we didn't get to go kayaking.
So the car died, low key. Well, it didn't die, but
it died.
It needs
she
some
died.
It needs some Neosporin.
Yeah. Okay, to re-summarize, the car died. There were no yakking today.
The car died.
The car died.
The car died. So,
the timing belt issue. We're waiting AAA to come tow the car.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was gonna be easy. Just go to a nice little
Yeah.
place, go get some tools right quick, go and replace maybe a spark plug, maybe a starter. No, it's a timing belt. That's gonna take. That's a lot of money.
It's gonna take us like 3 hours, by the way.
It's
at least maybe 4.
I'm prepared.
Be prepared that you're spending the rest of the day with me. We'll get dinner somewhere in Mount Hope or something.
Yeah. To answer my own question, trying new things and trying things that are scary. My perspective when it comes down to it is, I typically know that once I do this, I don't make a plan necessarily. I just say that, hey, I really want to do this. I need to do this for this reason. And I know if I'm doing it because it's scary, it's probably good for me growth-wise. So I go in with a spontaneous nature and make sure that, like, no matter what happens, like I can fix and fit any situation. Like, it's no problem. Like, if I need tools, I got all that stuff in my car. If I need like refreshments and all that other stuff, like I got enough money in the bank. Like, I don't have to worry about these things. That planet comes there, I just have like a simple, I want to go to, like, I don't know, I want to go to a concert. I basically know like what I'm capable of. I know what I've accomplished in my life. So even though like there'll be moments where I'm really scared to go and do something or go to travel somewhere or whatever the case might be, I sit there and remember the moments that I did something that I thought was impossible, and therefore go in scared without having any kind of issues, and just go and remember to just kind of be like, exist in these moments that are important for, me telling these stories and even turning it funny so I can put it online and all this other stuff. So honestly, when it comes to trying new things and dealing with the fear, I make sure that I welcome it. And also, I know that if I am scared, I know the experience is going to be absolutely wonderful. So it makes me really want to go ahead and do it more. And that is the answer.
that's your answer. Kind of circling back, I do like to have a plan long term. I'm okay to do spontaneous things, like go watch ICP, just for shits and gigs.
Mhm.
But like I'm a girl. I have a 5-year plan. What's the 5-year plan? I got a 5-year plan because not having that, I won't make progress with myself. And I do think that having space and time to do spontaneous things is useful. Knowing that I have work these days during the week, I have to get these things done, and then I've got some time. Go see if somebody wants to hang out. Like you texted me yesterday, and you're like, "Hey, what are you doing? You gonna go hiking?"
Oh,
Sure,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Definitely spontaneous way, but like
Yes,
legit, I get it. Like I still do plan for my things. I
I
still
know you
make
do.
sure. But certain moments,
Yes.
certain adventures that I really want to do, I'll sit here and like, you know what? Have the main objective, and then stuff can be done on the side, but make sure that main objective is done. And then everything else follows afterwards. Everything else will be fine. In this case, we're stranded.
This next part is when the tow truck came and we had to spend a long time in that damn truck. And man, it was
The whole
interesting
day.
to
The
say
whole
the
day.
least.
We spent 2 hours in the tow truck.
2 hours
2
and
hours.
44 minutes.
You're kidding.
2 hours and I will never forget. Let's start from the beginning and when they
Let's start
arrived.
from my beginning. As soon as I get the call from the tow truck driver, I hear the accent he's got. I'm like, okay, chameleon time. So I put on what I call my Minnesota accent, which I think that you probably like. I had a feeling that you were like, what the fuck is she doing the whole time? Because the whole time we were in the tow truck, it was between that and my Ashland accent, which kept slipping out. Because I speak normally like this. At work, I have a different accent. I keep a southern accent on because I'm in
You said Minnesota.
Kentucky. I thought, this man is speaking kind of more towards that. I would like to endear us to him so that he is less likely to be mean to us, which is why I do the accent for work. It's why I do that. I'm not the best at it long term, and for 2 hours and 44 minutes, it was
In
a lot.
31 seconds. 31 seconds. Don't play with me. I swear I was in the car with you. And then you started talking. I was like, now Savannah, why do you sound Canadian? What's going on? I was just like, I was sitting, see, look, I was like, that was the one thing. We was clicked right then and there. Like, I had your back. That happened, I said, this was not a part of anything I thought was gonna happen. I thought initially you were cracking, and I was like, I gotta start carrying some of this conversation, cause like.
I appreciated it. I was half asleep. I spent at least an hour and a half of that just kind of like dead over here because he'd sit in the middle. Made mine sit in the middle because there's a man I didn't know. So he's over here like this.
Yeah, I'm like diagonal. Like
Diagonal,
if this
like,
is like the seat
knees
right
in the
here.
chest.
Like I'm like 6'3", y'all. So like I'm in the middle, like I'm like crossing with her legs underneath. Like I'm just over here like, dude.
Our backpacks in the floor with our feet
on the
too
floor.
much.
I'm just like, you know what? 2 hours and 44 minutes.
And
My
31 seconds.
body in 31 seconds. My body felt every little bit of it. But as we start the drive, he starts off nice.
Starts off very pleasant. Starts talking about Lake Logan, which is where we happen to be, and how they were planning to clean it up over the next 2 years. And then he starts talking about his fishing spot in Lake Logan, in the marsh area. He's like, yeah, there's a 15-foot catfish hole just out in the middle of that, and nobody knows about it. And he starts telling us what the fish fry.
Yeah, so he starts telling him about the fish fry, talking about all the different kinds of fish. So I'm like, oh, okay, what kind of fish did you get? And he's like naming them off. Think of one I never had before. Oh, perch? Okay. Like, how's that taste? Oh, it's delicious. It's more firm. It's thick. I'm just like, okay. It's thick, a thick fish. He's like, it's like tilapia, but thicker. I said, oh my God, like the fibers. I said, you spitting, right? Just getting him talking, right? But then he started talking about his family. He was like, I would fry this fish, and then I would have a whole family like excited because I'm frying this fish, and he started going down like his ingredients and how he would batter it and everything like that. And it was green flags from there. I'm looking at his dashboard. I'm seeing like he got family like items over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, so this is gonna be fine, right? And then he was like going on. I was like, yeah, man, you must really like your family and your kids and stuff like that. It's like, oh well, they're my stepkids, and you know, it's just I like them, but at the same time, like they always want something from me. Like, yeah, you know, one day, you know, I'm just here and there. I was like, can I get a car? I'm like, a car? I'm not giving you a car. I'm even giving you some lunch money. But $400, I said, who the fuck said $400? And ain't nobody said that. I was like, oh, he got some trauma.
He got some trauma.
Right.
Unpacking his trauma in his tow truck.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, how old is your stepdaughter? And he's like, I think I said, oh, how old did you say your stepdaughter was? And he was like,
I didn't say how old she was. I was like, oh my God.
He was very weird about that.
He was weird.
And then he was like, she's 29. She doesn't even come around anymore unless she needs money. Because her mom passed away.
And I was just like, oh, okay.
Like,
and I was like, may she rest in peace, you know? And then he was like, I hope so. I was like, oh, okay. Well, how was your wife? He was like, oh man, yeah, like she was my best friend. We were dating for like 5 years and we were together for 8. I said, oh, so you had a wonderful relationship with her. And he was like, yeah, man. But when she passed away, I was gonna kill myself. I was like, oh. And I was like, he's swerving in his car, mind you.
We whipping.
We
whipping in the tow truck.
He's swerving and he say that, and I'm just like, yeah, this is it. We about to be airdropped to Jesus. This is about to be crazy. So then
roll the truck.
Yeah, so then like legit, I'm thinking like, okay, Savannah's gonna say something. Savannah looking out the window. I'm like,
I can't handle this. I was not made for this.
So I was like, okay, cool, I got this. So then I was like, oh man, like it always gets better. It was like, yeah, but when I was getting ready to do it, I said, getting ready. And then like legit, he didn't hear me. He kept talking. So when I was getting ready to do it, I heard a cry. And it was the dog. And I was like, well, I guess I gotta live for the dog now. I was like, oh man, like dogs are great companions for people, you know? I love dogs. He said, me too. And then Savannah chimed back in. What kind of dog was it?
Yeah.
Little husky. I said, ooh, those are beautiful dogs. He said, yeah, I had her for 16 years.
Had. Emphasis on the had.
Mm-hmm. The dog was dead. Yeah, he said, yeah, the dog was dead. So now your only reason for living is dead. And we in the car with you?
And now he just drives the tow truck. And his whole thing about how he got to the point where he drives the tow truck was like, yeah, I was driving garbage trucks for a long time, like dump trucks and stuff. And then my wife and I were like getting to the point where we were gonna like work on ourselves. So he starts going back to school to get his stuff to do other things. And then she died. So he doesn't go back to school. He was in the middle of school.
He don't go back.
Had to quit. Now he drives a tow truck.
Yes, he drives a 25/8 basically. That's what he said.
25/8 for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I stopped asking questions for a little bit.
We sit for at least an hour in just silence.
Yep, just an hour, and then right on the dot, 1 hour and 44 minutes left. What's your occupations, right? She says her occupation. I say mine. And then like legit, he was like, oh yeah. So like legit, then he starts mentioning some of his opinions on politics, which was the most confusing thing ever. Now I would expect like maybe conservative or something like that. Maybe even conservative Christian. However, he went from saying, oh, like, we're getting there, getting all these criminals, like, trying to take the guns away from everybody and trying to take away from the criminals, but they're taking away from the normal civilians that needed to shoot the criminals. I was like, oh, he trying to shoot the bitch. Okay.
I didn't remember that part.
So
I think I repressed that.
I didn't, because I was paying attention. I was making sure. But
I may have been asleep.
But legit, that he was like, that he was just going deeper and deeper in his beliefs. And at one point, I zoned out. When I zoned back in, he was talking about Afghanistan. And then he was just like, yeah, they had our boys in Afghanistan, got these stupid wars that we should never even be in the first place. And I was just like, wait a minute.
I remember that part.
I was like, he went from like conservative to like Democrat to the Green Party to like absolute socialist. And I was just like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So at this point, I'm thinking we being punked, right? Like I was like, he does this to people, right? I looked him dead in his optical stems. He was telling us the truth about everything he was saying. And I was just like, oh man, okay. So then I tried to change the subject. I said, hey, where's the last time you took a vacation? You seem like you drive a lot. I accidentally.
It gets worse. Talking about his family vacation and how he hates going with places with his family because everybody just wants to get drunk and be sloppy. He'd really just rather go drink by himself.
Yeah, he was talking about some. Yeah, I was 10 Long Island iced teas, just a splash of Coke and just nothing but alcohol. I came there to party and they're just arguing all the time.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh man, at least she was having fun. He was like, oh yeah, I had so much fun. I didn't even remember how I got back in my cabin. I'm like, bruh, what?
He did say that.
So then, like, legit, like you had mentioned the bourbon factory, and I was like, yeah, you should go down.
Mm-hmm.
You should go down. You know what I'm saying? You got some friends, and I immediately regretted it because I was like, I should have never asked about friends.
Never.
But he actually didn't say, and then they died, and then they left me, and then I don't know what happened. He said, yes, I do. I said, yes, you do. All right, what you do with your friends and stuff like that? Maybe you should bring him along. And he was like, well, we be riding bikes, you know, little Harleys and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, no, those are some beautiful little pieces of machinery and stuff like that. I knew nothing about motorcycles. I knew about cars, but not motorcycles. Yeah. So then this man.
Yeah, I look over. He's pulling up pictures on his phone.
He over here. Let me go on here. I'm just sitting here like this motherfucker not even looking at the motherfucking road. He's not looking at the road no more.
We're gonna roll the tow truck.
He does this for a solid like 2 minutes. Again, I'm counting the time. For 2 minutes, he's going through his phone, swerving, just keep on looking. He finally finds it. I said, oh, that's a beautiful bike. Okay, that's a beautiful bike. And then I'm just like looking, I'm like, oh shit, that's a car. Like, just looking like, oh, the car's slowing down. He started to slow down almost at the last minute. And I'm just like, just a big truck. He hit somebody. We all gonna be traumatized, right?
We almost hit a rabbit. I was almost traumatized by that.
That was the last part of this little thing because for another like 45 minutes, no speaking, right? No speaking. We chilling. No pun intended. It was cold as fuck in that truck. But
look over, goosebumps.
Goosebumps, right? And this man had the nerve to sit there, look over at my leg. He looked me up and down. And he said, oh man, if you were cold, like, you could have just told me. I said, sir, I sleep in this kind of cold, so like, you're fine. And then I'm just like, he's like looking my legs up and down. I'm just like, it's different. I think I want to leave this car.
I'm glad you were there.
For years. 2 hours and 44 minutes and 31 seconds.
31 seconds.
31 seconds. We get ready to hit this bunny. The bunny all the way, it's like 50 yards away.
He says, oh no, hurry up, run across the road. Doesn't try to move, doesn't slow down, doesn't swerve. He's just like, move. So then I'm like, fucking move, rabbit. Move faster.
Exactly.
And
I'm like, oh.
I was anything. Not trying to slow down. Crazy.
Not at that. I didn't see this man. I was looking at the speedometer. I was looking at that shit did not move. That shit still said 60. I said, oh no. It was a 45, by the way. Anyway, I was just sitting there. I was like, okay, all right. So legit, we passed that. And I want you to know the last thing that happens about this guy. The last thing. We chilling. We finally make it to her grandpa's house, right? I've been watching this man and his subtle movements for 2 hours, 44 minutes, 31 seconds. I seen that he just had a drink on him. Just a drink. So when we get out the car, he's taking your car off, and your grandpa go up, investigates the car. He come out of nowhere. Told man come out of nowhere talking about some, hey, can I feed the dog jerky? I look, the dog is nowhere near me anymore. I'm like, wait a minute. Where the fuck did you just pull this jerky out from?
Not even that. Because before, so while he's like, oh, can I feed the dog some jerky? The dog's behind his legs. Mm-hmm. Imagine a dachshund. Just one little dachshund. Behind his legs, she's like, I don't know this fucking person. But I trust this one more. Like, I don't trust that man over there. You know, like some jerky. So then my grandpa asks my nana, he's like, okay, can the dog have some? Is that cool with you? Because she's in charge of the dog most of the time. That's her dog. That's her dog. And she's like, sure. So then he goes and actually gets the jerky, and then the dog's like, fuck yeah, free food. But until then, she's like, I don't know you.
Yeah, because I'm like, I wasn't.
This big man. I don't
all
know.
I know is I saw her behind me, and then she was just staying there, right? Next thing you know, I'm just observing the place, like my surroundings and everything, and I'm just like, okay, that's nice little lake back here, big field, cool, understood. I hear, can I feed the dog jerky for a second? I'm like, I must be tired. This motherfucker pulls up a jerky. I looked at the side of the car before he even got in when it started. I looked at like the dashboard. This man didn't have pockets. He didn't. You laughing? I'm dead ass. He did not have pockets. He did not have pockets in his pants.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Maybe door pocket. Potentially.
Door pocket.
Door pocket.
Back there. I'm just seeing.
Somewhere under the seat, maybe.
Contraband.
Contraband.
I swear to God, because he did not have fucking pockets. I swear. So either contraband jerky or his booty jerky. I swear to God, it has to be. It has to be.
Prison person gets a whole new name.
Oh, swear to yep. They gonna like him in prison. We passed one.
Oh my Lord.
They gonna like him.
They gonna roll up. He's gonna be like, you want some jerky? I'll drop some soap if you want some jerky.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Nah. But that's the story. That's the story of the toe man. And I will call it from this point on 2 hours, 44 minutes, 31 seconds.
Definitely one of the strangest stories I have, but I will hold that for the rest of my life. Now to the last part of the interview.
The last question was tapping into not necessarily having an answer for something, but something that you know you're still working on. But despite you being, in the process of healing from it, what piece of trauma do you still carry with you to this day?
So I'm getting better about this because I've had several years to learn how to process things better. Actually, I have two I want to talk about. My parents' divorce, which happened when I was in 5th grade. I internalized a lot of that for no reason, but also how are you going to tell like a 9-year-old that her parents' divorce isn't her fault? So that kind of created a sense of abandonment in me, which I kind of had anyways, because I felt that way starting like when my little sister was born, because my mom had postpartum depression and they were focusing on this baby, and I was only like 4. Don't have a kid if your middle kid is 4. Do it like 2 or like 5, because 3 and 4 is when kids start to form their first permanent memories, and those are permanent memories that I will always have of them coming home with this baby and feeling like a betrayal. Granted, I love my little sister. We're chill now.
Mm-hmm.
She was a menace to society, and
God.
she seriously was. She like beat me up all the time.
I never really fought with my siblings or anything like
She
that.
fought with me. I blamed her for things. I hated her. I hated that child because I felt like her coming into the home was as a replacement for me. So that's why I kind of hold on to abandonment issues. I have those issues with relationships as well, like talking to that man. My biggest fear is just that like he's gonna leave and not tell me, which is why the other day when we were talking in the car, I told you that I like to know when things are gonna happen, and I like to know ahead of time to prepare myself, because abandonment is one of the things which we didn't get into, but that's part of the reason why.
Okay.
The other one, the second one, was my grandma's death, which happened 4 years ago last month, because now it's July, so it would have been June, July-ish. It was the first death I had in the family, and that was a big thing of just like being really afraid, because I thought I had more time with her, even though, as I did talk to you the other day when we were like, I knew before it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Through mysterious workings of the spiritual world. Like I knew, but I thought I had more time, and just that like is something that I've had time to work through and like learn how to grieve, but is also like a, you know, oh, now that I know that if X happens, I've got a pretty good inkling that Y is gonna happen. aka I have a dream that, and listen, if you don't believe in it, that's up to you.
Just having premonitions.
I have premonitions, and then 2 for 2 they've come true, because then the same thing happened when my great grandpa passed away. And I'm at a point now where I'm like, okay, I have a feeling that my dad is next, but if I get that dream, I'm not going to be able to handle it. I'm not going to be able to do that. And that's my biggest thing that I have to work through going forward, is learning how to let go of that, because I do have issues with abandonment, and I don't think I'm ready to like have to deal with that yet.
But as for myself, I think the trauma that I'm still holding on to when it comes to myself is more on the, not necessarily about losing everyone in a sense, like, because abandonment is definitely,
It ties in.
It
It kind
ties
of, it feels the same sometimes.
yeah, like it's
Different context, same root feeling that you have as like a person.
Yeah, like for me, it's just like I knew that like pretty much like I was like with my parents at one point, and then got shipped off with my grandmother, and we, as it mean like and my sister thought that we would one day go back with our parents, but we didn't actually know that they technically wouldn't come back, and the other parent wasn't going to be responsible enough to actually take care of us. So with that had being said, we like believed for years that like they're coming back, having that kind of hope. Through that and a few other things, I understand that things do not last forever, right? So I understand that concept a little bit more, and it's easier for me. And instead of like the abandonment like usually taking hold of me and just like preventing me from doing a whole lot, instead of that, it's more on the like the bonds that I make after that, right? Because like, yeah, I love my family, and I may not be as close to them, and I still love them. That's what I mean. But I understand that like I have to make my family in a different way. All right, so I go out and I have like these friends, and I'm like picking them wrong, right? But I'm trying my best to make it work. So like the trauma that I'm still like having trouble with is actually just the people pleasing portion. It's trying to make sure like I'm following orders so that they can stay. So I'm making sure I'm adapting to them so they can feel comfortable enough to basically want to feel loved, feel appreciated, because I know that I didn't get all that love and appreciation that I like wanted and that you're supposed to get really like as a kid and growing up and stuff like that. And I don't get mad that I didn't have that, but because I know what that feels like when it comes to other people, that people pleasing version of myself will go and give everything that they have just so that that person can feel fulfilled, so they can feel like they're having their services met for that matter, and like making sure that like they don't ever feel like they're alone in my presence. And although that's like somewhat of a good thing, I just do it in an unhealthy way because I never have anything left for myself. So that thing that I'm still trying to really combat and still having trouble with, it has always been like people pleasing. I'm still working on it, and you know, as we talk about these kind of things, it's a progress. It's something that we're gonna be working on forever. And to those that are watching, do remember that it's a step-by-step process. You need to feel whatever you need to feel, understand however you need to understand, get your closure not from the other people but to yourself so that you can move on and continue to improve and make that heart of yours as pure as you possibly could be with your own particular life. So that's just like my piece. This is her piece. This is a nice little fun project. Hopefully in the future, if we want to do more of this, we can.
Oh yeah.
And Let us know some of the things that you found in this video interesting, any kind of concepts. If you have any of the other pieces that you want to share in the comments, if you feel brave enough, you don't have to. But start a conversation. You never know who's willing to listen, who's willing to be a part of your life in this new chapter as of this moment watching this video. But it is your boy, Breaded Chicken. This is my homegirl Savannah. We're glad to have your time, and y'all have a good night. Peace.